I did a little research, folks, and wondered, so what are some of the unusual disclosure items that are needed in other parts of the country other than Louisville and southern Indiana? So in New York State, the law does not specifically require sellers to disclose if a home is considered haunted. However, there is a famous legal precedent known as, are you ready for this? Ghostbusters ruling. That's Stemvosky versus Ackerley in 1991. Do you know this, Lee? You're shaking your head and you may know that. Okay. It plays a role in such situations. The case established that if a seller has publicly promoted or affirmed that a property is haunted, such as through advertisements, media coverage, local reputation, things like that, the seller may be required to disclose information to potential buyers. So there is something to that. So that sent me down this rabbit hole. So what other types of unusual disclosures are required? So in California, sellers must disclose any death that occurred on the property within the last 3 years, regardless of the cause. We don't have that here yet, right? Yep.
No.
Alaska and South Dakota, disclosures about deaths are required only if caused by the property's condition, like, for example, carbon monoxide leaking, things like that. Now, in Hawaii, sellers are required to disclose if the property is near a noise zone from a military airfield or operations that could affect the quality of life. Then California sellers, seems like a lot of this stuff's coming out of California, right? Sellers are required to inform buyers about where they can find Megan's Law database. Now, that deals with sex offenders. In other states, disclosure may not be mandatory, but providing access to resources like public databases is common. Florida, sellers must disclose sinkhole activity and if they would cause possible damage. In New Jersey, sellers must disclose if the property has been built on landfills or areas with environmental contamination. Texas, I'll wrap this up here. Texas requires disclosure of natural hazards like flooding, along with detailed floodplain information. In Pennsylvania, sellers must disclose neighborhood nuisances such as loud animals, unpleasant odors, or disruptive neighbor activities. In other words, you got a problem with a neighbor. So I guess what I'm saying is, if you think when you fill out a form to sell your house, whether you're in Louisville or southern Indiana, if you think that our disclosures are bad, just think it could be a lot worse. We could be living in one of those other states with a lot more going.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, a quick reminder for you, if we really do have hundreds of videos about real estate. If you like to see some of the videos that we produce for our clients, for sellers, for buyers, go to LouisvilleHomeVideo.com. That's LouisvilleHomeVideo.com. And remember, you can see a rebroadcast of this show by going to LouisvilleAnswers.com. Again, that is LouisvilleAnswers.com.